Hi everyone, I'm Mick. Welcome to my shop. So today I'm going to be tearing down a Criterion boring head that I got on eBay, I think. It was a really good deal. And it seems to work just fine, but it's a little gunked up with old grease inside, and I need to replace the shaft on it. It's got a 1-inch arbor on it with an R8 to make it fit my mill a little bit better. So let's get to it. So as you can see, I've already got the 1-inch arbor that came on it off. That was a bit of a pain to get off. It was stuck on there pretty good. So I didn't get any video of that. But so let's take off the screws that hold the top plate on and get inside this thing. This top part consists of an inner and an outer ring. The inner ring is what's screwed to the rest of the boring head body, and the outer ring rotates freely on it. It has gear teeth on the inside of it that interact with the white plastic gear that you see on the bottom of the boring head there. As with everything else on this boring head, it is just jam-packed with grease. There's a thin piece of metal that just serves as a barrier to keep gunk and stuff out of the inside of the boring head and the gears. And then the white plastic gear just lifts right out. You got to kind of turn it a little bit because it's got the worm gear on it. And now, using the adjustment screw that you use to set the boring head diameter, just turn that until the two halves separate. It's got dovetails, like most boring heads. Of course, it helps to remove the gib screws and the little ball bearings. It's not a true gib on this. It's just, I guess you would call it a flexure joint. Um, the There's a slot sawed in the piece, and it just presses against it and helps tighten it, but it seems to work. Separating these two halves turned out to be a little bit of a challenge. The adjustment screw seems to be binding, but I managed it after a little bit. There's a small nylon spring-loaded pin that holds that adjustment screw in place. You can see the groove right there. I'll lose this little pin in a little bit, but luckily I was able to find it. This thing is all gummed up with grease and dirt. It's just no wonder it was so hard to turn the feed ring on it.
The adjustment screw screws into this assembly at the end of the boring head here that has the gear that the ring gear interfaces with to adjust the boring head while it's running. It has a C-clip and a thrust bearing and some other pieces in it I'll be taking apart now. There's a clutch in this that consists of 4 ball bearings with springs so that if the pressure gets too high, it'll slip. Um, Tiny little fiddly bits. Now it's completely disassembled. I just need to clean everything up, get all the old grease and dirt out, and reassemble and lightly grease these parts as they go back together. Most everything is cleaned up now. I just need to take apart this clutch assembly and clean it up with all of its little fiddly springs and pins and ball bearings. Alright, everything's clean, so it's time to start reassembly. And it's all back together now. I just need to put the R8 arbor I bought for it on, and let's give it a shot.
Alright, so the boring head is mounted in the mill, and so this ring, you hold on to this ring while the machine is running, and it adjusts the boring head out. These are two stops that can be set. This pin will hit them, and when it hits, then that clutch inside with the little ball bearings and all that will engage and it'll stop. When I first got this, it was so jam-packed up that this barely turned, and I wasn't even sure if it was working. So let's fire it up and I'll show you how it works. So right now we can see the relative position of that pin. So I'll hold the ring for a while. Guess I need to slow that down. Don't need any injuries. It runs, this adjustment is really fine. Let's see how that moved. Oh yeah, visibly moved. So, there we go. That's how it works. Alrighty, take care guys.